Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. I got a lot of stuff here to talk to you guys about today. But before I get into the first title, please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoy my videos. Right now, I'm kind of under the weather. I have like this really bad sinus congestion thing going on. Like I can't really breathe in my nose for the last couple of days, and like I had this like big headache and everything. So please bear with me. I have a lot of cool things here to talk to you guys about. I've been cooped up in this house for like the last like 3 or 4 days, so I kind of just want to, film something right now for you guys. Next up from Star Vista and Time Life for this update today is Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, and Forever. This is a cool NBC special that aired back in 1983 that got all these different Motown artists of the time to come together for one big performance, for a musical special, like Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, the Supremes, the Four Tops, the Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, like all these great acts to perform in one big show. And this is the very first time I've ever seen the show in its entirety. I've always seen little, clips of it in different Michael Jackson DVDs, because this is the special Michael Jackson debuted the moonwalk, back in the day when, boom, bump, when he, when he's doing his moonwalk thing, and that's like the big iconic moment of this special. But there's a lot of great moments in this thing, and I just thought it was just really cool to check out this special, because I've heard nothing but great things about it, and it's just absolutely amazing. And the other cool thing is about this set, you get interviews in here with the producers that put on this show back in 1983, talking about how hard it was, or how kind of, just talking about their experiences trying to get all the different acts together, to play in one show. And you also get like Smokey Robinson and a handful of others that are still around from the Motown era talking about how monumental this special was back in the day. And it's just an amazing DVD set here. You also get a rehearsal footage on one of the DVDs here of Marvin Gaye rehearsing his act before he puts on his show. And it was just kind of cool to check out, like him just trying to twerk his act, twerk little things and the sound things before, he went live in front of an audience and things. Great stuff on here. This is a 3-disc edition. Time Life has also put out a 6-disc DVD set with a bunch of new other special features. If you guys want to know more about that, make sure you guys check out the Time Life website. But this was just an awesome special. Very pleasantly surprised by it. And I like Smokey Robinson. He's like one of my favorites that's in here. I got to meet him once when I was working at Blockbuster, and he signed my one of his CDs for me. I thought that was absolutely cool. But Motown 25, guys, make sure you guys pick up this DVD, especially if you guys are into the Motown era, the great music of the day. But that's Motown 25 here on DVD. I love that special. And next up over here from Universal is a movie I heard a lot of good things about, a lot of positive reviews on this film, and that is Chef here, directed, starring, and written by Jon Favreau, who you guys all know from Made and Swingers, and those are his movies that got him put on the map back in the day, that made me like his movies and like his writing and things. And in this one, he plays this chef who works at this restaurant. He's kind of sick and tired of making the same food day in and day out. And one day this food critic's coming into his restaurant. He wants to make a whole new menu, to surprise this guy, with some really good food. But yet his boss that owns the restaurant says, no, you're going to make the same old food that you make day in and day out that people have been eating for 10 years. So he does what his boss says, and the food critic kind of slams him, with the review that he gets from eating his food, and it just kind of sets him in this whirlwind, makes him want to quit his job, and try to start from scratch again to become an even better chef. And I found this movie to be really, really charming. Really, it's a really light film to watch. There's not a whole lot of conflict, a whole lot of things you really have to get invested with or anything like that. It's just a really light kind of fluffy kind of comedy, and I really did enjoy this one very much. And it's pretty much Jon Favreau and his son trying to to bond with each other. And if you guys see it out there, definitely give it a chance, because I know it was one of those movies that opened up in like little select movie theaters, like didn't open very big, and then it kind of grew as it stayed in theaters. Like the word of mouth grew on this film, and I really see why, because I really fell in love with this one. But that's Chef here on Blu-ray. Give it a chance, guys. Really, really well done. Alright guys, and next up from Warner Brothers is the complete 7th season here of The Big Bang Theory on Blu-ray. This is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I absolutely love this sitcom. It was one of those sitcoms when I first started watching it, for like the first handful of episodes, I was going, I don't know if I like this or not. And then it slowly started growing on me, and you know, now it's one of my favorite sitcoms that's still on TV right now. I have all the other seasons of them on Blu-ray and things, and in this season, we're at the end of season 6, Leonard, also known as Jonathan Galecki, is going off to sea to work, you know, for work, and you know, that's what happens at the end of season 6. And at the beginning of season 7, Sheldon, or Jim Parsons, is kind of struggling with not having Leonard around. He's kind of having nightmares, and he just can't really function right without Leonard being there. And so he befriends Penny even more. Penny kind of, you know, helps him out to try to get over the fact that Leonard's not there. It's just one of those super funny sitcoms that I absolutely fell in love with. And on this Blu-ray set here, you get the Comic-Con panel from 2013 with the cast and stuff talking about the show. You also get a writer's panel in there where Jonathan Galecki, you know, crashes and, you know, takes over the panel from the writers and things like that. And you also get like a gag reel like you always do in the different on all the other seasons that you get on Blu-ray. But this is one of those shows you have to get on Blu-ray. Like, the colors really pop and are really vibrant in this show. And, like, I would say usually for a regular sitcom, you don't really need to buy them on Blu-ray. But for me, when it comes to sitcoms of today, this is the only one you really need to, you know, I really need to get on Blu-ray, just because, like I said, the colors are just vibrant. It gets funnier and funnier each time I watch the show. But that's season 7 of The Big Bang on Blu-ray. And next up over here is Godzilla on Blu-ray. This is the 2014 version, you know, starring Elizabeth Olsen and, what's his name again? Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. I saw this one in the theaters back when on the day it came out, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised by it, but at the same time kind of disappointed in it, because I really wanted more Godzilla in the movie. You know what I mean? We got Godzilla, but not as much. You got more of the human drama of the, you know, the actors of the movie, more than you got Godzilla tearing up stuff. You know what I mean? But Godzilla in this film looks fantastic. Like, the whole CGI, this movie was shot fantastically. And but the other little thing I wanted to say is, like, I really wish Bryan Cranston was in the movie more. You know what I mean? Because if you saw the movie, and as soon as, you know, whatever, as soon as, you know, you don't see him anymore, the movie kind of, you know, I don't know, it takes a downward spiral, in my opinion, until you start seeing Godzilla more and things like that. But on this Blu-ray here, you get a handful of behind-the-scenes making of featurettes and things. But there's also a 3D version of it out there. Make sure you guys, you know, check it out. It looks fantastic on Blu-ray. Is it the best Godzilla film? No. Does it look fantastic? Yes. But, you know, I do like all the other Godzilla movies. Like I said in the past, never been a super obsessed big fan of those movies, but I did watch them with my my dad back when I was younger. But that's Godzilla here on Blu-ray. Looks fantastic, sounds great. It's Godzilla on Blu-ray, baby. And next up over here from Sony, and this movie is Think Like a Man 2. And this one's based, of course, on a book by Steve Harvey. And not this version. The first one was, and it's pretty much about the same group of people that you came to know and love in the first movie. Now one of the couples is getting married. They're going to Vegas, and it's them and all the same friends from their original film going down there to put on bachelor parties and bachelorette parties and go crazy in Vegas. That's pretty much the synopsis of this film. Like, whatever stuff the guys and girls learned in the first one is kind of thrown out the door, and they kind of have to relearn, you know, how to act and think like a man, you know, in part 2 again. And I don't know, I really did like this cast. It seems like they have great chemistry together. It also feels like it's Kevin Hart's movie. You know what I mean? Like, he's like the main one driving this film, and I think his web presence is really helping him out in the box office, because just the way he is just makes people want to go see him. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about him. He seems like a genuinely funny dude that I hope his career keeps going. But to me, when it comes to his stuff, it feels like he might be the Pauly Shore of today. You know what I mean? Like, sooner or later, we're not going to hear nothing from him. We're not going to see him or hear anything from him forever, for a long time kind of thing. But who knows? Hopefully that doesn't happen for him. But let's Think Like a Man 2 here on Blu-ray. You get deleted scenes, awesome gag reel on here. Yeah, but let's Think Like a Man 2 here on Blu-ray. Check it out if you guys like the first one. And next up over here is a show I was dying to get, you know, because I have all the other seasons of it already on DVD. Me and my mom both love this show, and that is Grey's Anatomy Season 10 here on DVD. You get all 24 episodes on 6 DVDs in this set right here. And at the end of Season 9, there was this big storm that hit Seattle Grey's, the hospital, and all this craziness is happening. You know, one of the doctors is downstairs. He might have gotten electrocuted and died. You know, Meredith Grey just had her baby, and this, you know, the storm just happened, and the lights are turning off, and all the people in the ER, you're not really gonna know what's happening to them, and that was kind of like the cliffhanger of you know, Season 9, and here in Season 10 picks up right where Season 9 left off, when you want to find out, you know, what happened to the doctor down in the basement when he was checking the power lines, and what's going on with Meredith and her baby. Is the baby okay? You know, like all this craziness, and you know, and it just picks up straight from there. I can't really, you know, ruin the season for you, because if you haven't seen it yet, you have to watch it. But it just, you know, it picks up where everything left off, and, you know, all the drama, all the intrigue, all the lies and portrayal of different people in the show is better than ever in this one. I always really like this show. Like, shows like ER can never get into. My mom loves it. But when it comes to Grey's Anatomy, I don't know what it is. I just really click with the characters in this. Like, it's just, like, Bailey, I gotta say, is my favorite in the whole show. Bailey is just the greatest character in this whole show, in my opinion. But this is Grey's Anatomy Season 10 here on DVD. Make sure you guys run out there and pick this one up. I had to. I just had to, you know, get this one here on DVD. But that's Grey's Anatomy Season 10. Check it out, guys. And next up over here is another show I liked very much when I was younger, when I was a teenager growing up. And now they're on Season 17. I would have never thought this show would have lasted as long as it has, and still be, you know, getting good ratings. And that is South Park, the complete 17th season here on Blu-ray. And this is one of those shows that, like I said, when I first started watching it, I was really getting into it because of the raunchiness, because of the language they were using, and because they're, you know, picking on the pop culture things that are happening, you know, at the time. And it's still very good today, but of course, when it comes to, you know, seasons of shows, some episodes are better than others. But to me, South Park always seems to bring the funny to me, especially anything with Cartman. It always cracks me up. And in this season here, you get 10 episodes of Season 17, and you also get the Black Friday trilogy in this set here, where, you know, the kids of South Park are beefing over, you know, Xbox Ones or PlayStation 4s and what they're going to do on Black Friday. You also get the Ginger Cow episode in here, which was absolutely hilarious, where Cartman, like, you know, paints a cow to be a ginger, and, like, all this craziness happens. This is just a pretty fun season, but you also get all the mini commentary tracks on there by Matt and Trey Parker, you know, talking about the episodes in little mini form. And you also get deleted scenes and stuff on here. But I like getting them on Blu. They look pretty good on Blu. But that's South Park, the complete 17th season here on Blu-ray. And next up over here is Key and Peele Season 3 on Blu-ray here. This is a sketch variety show in the same sort of vein as the Dave Chappelle Show. I believe this is the show that kind of took the place of the Chappelle Show back in the day, because it's shot very similar, like where Key and Peele come out on stage in front of an audience and kind of, like, you know, introduce the little sketches that they put on that week and things like that. And it's very, very funny, like, very political humor in here. They make fun of, like, Obama and rappers and, like, a whole bunch of, like, you know, different, you know, topics in each episode. And I think these guys are pretty funny. These two guys right here, Key and Peele, started off as cast members on Mad TV, and these guys became even, you know, good friends on the set of Mad TV. and came up with their own show, Key and Peele, that's now on Comedy Central. That I think they're doing pretty well. And on this Blu-ray here, you get all 13 episodes of season 3. You also get like a best of season 1 and 2 little vignette on one of the Blu-rays here, which I thought was pretty funny. But that's Key and Peele here on Blu-ray. If you guys are a fan of the show, make sure you guys check out season 3 on Blu-ray. And next up over here from Troma is the Toxic Avenger here on Blu-ray for the very first time with a really cool, green case. That's what I like about Troma, what they're doing since like the Nukem High, Return of Nukem High came out. They had a Blu-ray in the green case and things. But yeah, I don't really need to talk to you guys about the Toxic Avenger. He's a nerdy guy named Melvin that gets bullied, gets bullied and pushed around, in this gym, and he gets pushed out of a window and falls into a tub of toxic waste and becomes a Toxic Avenger, and fights bad guys and things. And this movie, spawned 3 sequels as of now, and it looked pretty damn good on Blu-ray. There's some parts of it that look kind of messy, but that's just probably because of the film elements that they had, or the film stock that they shot the movie on. But to me, it's a definite upgrade from the previous DVD editions of it that came out back in the day. You get a new intro on here with Lloyd Kaufman. You get some interviews with some of the cast members now, talking about their experiences on the film. And you also get like a really weird video with Mark Torgold, the mop boy himself, Melvin, just like, sort of just messing around with these 2 hot chicks in the back of his house or something, which I thought was kind of funny, because me and Sean Coolder, we worked with Mark Torgold on his new film called Toxic Tutu, which is going to be coming out soon, which is like a documentary on the real Melvin, the Toxic Avenger, and what he's doing now, kind of thing. But if you're a fan of the Toxic Avenger, definitely upgrade the Blu-ray. You won't be disappointed in it. The interviews on there, they're not great, but at least there's something new, something that you can, new to watch and check out for the Toxic Avenger. But that's Toxie on Blu-ray here. And next up over here is one I really wanted to revisit, because I had the old DVD that Troma put out years and years ago. Because when I first saw this movie, I was just like, oh my god, this movie is crazy. It's like one of those ones, when you watch it, you have to like tell all your friends. And like, you have to watch it just because it's so weird. And that is Blood-Sucking Freaks here on Blu-ray. And, this is about a guy named Sadhu. He puts on these off-Broadway plays, or, plays of the macabre. And these people come into the play and just watch all this craziness unfold on stage, like people being tortured and mutilated. But the people that are in the audience think it's a trick, but they don't know that the people on stage are really getting killed and and really mutilated and things like that. And it's just a really crazy, over-the-top movie that it's just, you have to at least see it once, kind of thing. And I was happy that Troma was putting this one out on Blu-ray, and I thought the movie looked nice on Blu-ray. Still has like, some film grain in it, because I don't think they had like a whole bunch of money to go in there and clean up the film elements, but it is a definite upgrade from the original DVD they came out. Like, it looks so much better on Blu-ray. But there's some really cool new special features on here. You get a new interview on here with Eli Roth, who you guys all know from Cabin Fever, who directed Cabin Fever and the Hostel films, talking about his love for the movies. But the really weird thing and super cool thing about this Blu-ray here is that you get an interview with WWE superstar Chris Jericho. And when I saw that on the back, when I saw that on the special features menu page, I was going, what? Chris Jericho interview? What does he have to do with Blood-Sucking Freaks that came out back in the 70s? But it's just him talking about how much this movie meant to him, and how he just loves weird, crazy 70s, 80s horror films, and how nerdy he is about horror films, and how, he found out about this movie and told his friends, and his friends told his friends. And it was just a really great interview with Chris Jericho, just showing how nerdy this guy really is when it comes to horror films. I thought it was very refreshing to hear what he has to say about Troma and horror movies in general. I thought that was just a very cool special feature on this. But if you guys had never seen Blood-Sucking Freaks, definitely get the Blu-ray out there, guys. It's on Amazon or Troma.com. Make sure you guys check this one out. Blood-Sucking Freaks. Great, great movie. Or, not great. It's just so bad, it's good kind of movie. And next up over here is another horror film that I've always liked from back in the 80s, and that is Stage Fright here on Blu-ray from Blue Underground. And this is pretty much the same, pretty much about a company of actors, putting on this play, putting on rehearsals and practicing for this musical about a guy that escapes from a mental asylum and kills people, kind of play. And they're just rehearsing it, trying to get it right. But they don't know down the road there's a real mental hospital that a real psychopath has just escaped from, and he has locked himself in their playhouse. And everybody in there, and everyone in this play is rehearsing doesn't know that there's a serial killer, crazy psychopath in their midst, and they're getting picked off one by one. And I always liked this film. The original Anchor Bay DVD that came out years ago only had like a theatrical trailer on it, but on this Blu-ray here that Blu-ray Underground put out, you get new interviews by some stars and special effects artists. You also get a theatrical trailer, interview with the composer. You get a lot of cool little interviews on here. I wish there was like a making of documentary or something for this movie, because I've always really liked it. Like the kills in it are decent. And if you guys have never seen it, man, check out Stage Fright here on Blu-ray. The transfer on it will blow your mind. I thought it was absolutely fantastic on Blu-ray. And next up over here is a movie. It's called Are You Here? Starring Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, and Amy Poehler. It's about these two lifelong friends. They're kind of losers. They're kind of stoners. They get high all the time and like talk about other, doing a bunch of different things. And until one day, one of the guy's fathers passes away and leaves him a bunch of money and a house, and the movie's pretty much them going on over to where they used to live as children to see what the hell is really going on and how they're going to deal with all the money they just came into. I thought this movie was kind of poor. I thought it could have been a lot better than it was. It's marked as a comedy, like a comedy drama, but I didn't laugh once in this movie. I was just watching it going, why are these talented people in this movie? You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of really disappointed me, because the movie really didn't have any direction. It didn't really go anywhere. It didn't do anything for me. And Zach Galifianakis to me seems like he plays the same character in all the movies that I ever seen him in. You know what I mean? But the only thing I can say in this movie, if you want to see Zach Galifianakis without a beard, you can watch this movie, but other than that, you can really skip this one, guys. And next up over here from Lionsgate is a movie I heard some mixed things about, some good, some bad. And it stars Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson from Twilight, and it's called The Rover here on Blu-ray. This is kind of like a post-apocalyptic kind of movie, like the economy, and it takes place in Australia. The economy collapsed 10 years ago, and this movie pretty much just shows the lives of people and what's happened, to the earth, and how, food is scarce, gas is scarce, like everything is kind of scarce, and people are just trying to stay alive as long as they can. And this movie just pretty much follows Guy Pearce's character. At the beginning of this film, he's sitting in his car, just doing nothing, until he gets out of his car, walks into a bar, and when he's in the bar, his one and only car that he has gets stolen, and the whole movie is just pretty much him trying to get his car back from the people that stole it from him. That's pretty much the movie. Can't really explain it anymore without ruining things for you. But it was actually very intriguing, very well acted and paced, and it looked very, very good on Blu-ray here, like with the deserts and just the whole scenery and vibe to this movie was very creepy. Kind of felt like a Mad Max kind of movie a little bit, with just the way everything looks and how everything's kind of like shut down and all decrepit and things. But I like this one very much. Robert Pattinson here gives a decent performance, because the only thing I ever seen him in was the very first Twilight movie, and after that I was kind of done with those Twilight movies. You know what I mean? Like, my sister likes them, I can't stand them. On this Blu-ray here, you get like a making of featurette. But if you see it out there, it was actually a very nice, riveting film. I think you guys would totally enjoy it. And this next one right here from Lionsgate, I was really kind of anticipating it, because I really liked the first one when it came out. And this one's called, Petals on the Wind here. This is the sequel to Flowers in the Attic that came out on Lifetime. It was earlier this year. It stars Heather Graham and Ellen Burstyn, Academy Award winner. And in the first film, Flowers in the Attic was a remake from a movie from the 80s, and the 80s one was a remake from a book, was based off a book. And this is just like what happened to the family 10 years after what happened to everybody in the attic in the first one. And this movie just wasn't really as compelling or as interesting as its predecessor. It has all the same cast. It was just lackluster to me. Like, the first one was very interesting, kept me very, I got very into the characters, wanted to know what was going to happen to them inside this attic, and why the mother locked them away in this attic, and why, what's going on with them now. And it just could have been executed a lot better, in my opinion. I thought Ellen Burstyn did a good job in this movie. She's only in like 2 or 3 little scenes in the sequel here, but she's definitely the highlight of these movies in general. But it was just okay. It wasn't, I wasn't surprised by it. It was just kind of like totally forgettable. Like, after you watch it, you're done. But the one that came out before it was great. But that's Petals on the Wind here on DVD. Alright guys, next up from VCI is Denver the Last Dinosaur, the complete series here on DVD. You get all 50 episodes of Denver on 4 DVDs here. It's pretty much about these kids that are like on a school trip, and at the La Brea tar pits, and they find this egg cracks open, and there's Denver the Last Dinosaur, and these kids have these adventures with the dinosaur. I thought it's kind of cool. Still, it's a little bit dated, of course, because the animations came a long way, since the 80s when this one aired. But I don't know, man. It's cool. It's cool to check this one out. I thought I was gonna remember it more than I did. But just like certain things, I'm like, oh, I think I might have remembered that as a kid. But it's cool to check it out anyway. Denver the Last Dinosaur here on DVD. And next up was a horror film that I know a handful of people were kind of crapping on, but I thought it came off kind of good and kind of creeped me out a little bit. Maybe because the mood I was in that day or something. And it's from Image Entertainment, and it's called The Paranormal Diaries, Clop Hill here on DVD. It's pretty much about this one church. Back in like the 60s or something, like this black mass was held there, and like graves were decimated, bones were left, all over the place, and like the whole place just got messed up. And ever since then, there's been this weird, haunting that, people think that's happening at this place. Like, this place is haunted. Something's crazy that, crazy stuff happens if you go to this place. And this movie is about these 6, paranormal investigators going to Clop Hill, going to this old, dilapidated, like, church thing that doesn't even have a roof to it, to document what they see over a weekend, and when they're there to interview other people that have been on the site and have seen things and experienced different things that happened. It's very much in the same vein as like Blair Witch Project, kind of shot that same kind of way. And I thought it was very kind of creepy. Is it a great horror movie? No, but it did creep me out a little bit, because anything paranormal or demon possession, those kind of movies always really kind of creep me the hell out. And 1 or 2 people told me this is like a real documentary, but to me it seems like there's actors in there doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's 100% real of what's really going on in this movie. But this movie was okay. If you see it out there, like Redbox it for a buck or 2, I don't think you'll be disappointed in it. And last up here for my update today is another horror movie, and it's called Found here on DVD. It's about these 2 brothers. They're kind of like don't have the greatest relationship in the planet. One of them kind of gets picked on in school. He kind of just like, damn it, I don't want to go to school anymore. All I do is get picked on and looked at like I'm like the weird kid in class. But yet his brother, on the other hand, goes out and does all this crazy stuff at night, and his little brother always sees a head in his brother's closet. Like a different head every time he goes in there. So like he thinks his brother's going out there committing murders and killing people and doing all this crazy stuff. And it's just what transpires when when the older brother finds out what the little brother knows about what he's been doing, kind of thing. I thought it was very inventive. It was shot on a very like shoestring kind of budget, but I thought it came off very well. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. Some weird, creepy imagery throughout the film, like especially towards the end, like some unnecessary nudity. I'm like, did that really need to happen? Kind of thing. There's a little bit of a race thing going on in this thing too. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't really kind of agree with that, but they could have probably took it in a different direction instead of that. But if you guys see this out there, definitely check it out. It's very independent, but very well done. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. The acting was good. I like the voiceover work that they had in this movie. Brought a lot more to the table, in my opinion. But that's found here on DVD. But guys, thank you so much for coming by for my Blu-ray DVD update video today. Please give this one a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.